director, Kirsten D'Andrea Hollander.
So, Trixie Monkey, do you want to come up?
I think we have such a great crowd, I'll just open it straight up to questions. So if anyone has any, speak now or forever hold your peace.
We answered it.
Where are you going from now? Where's your plans?
Wow. Well, there's an after party. It's close by.
And there's cards with the after party's address on them, because I'm too nervous to remember where it is right now. But we'll pass them out.
We're going everywhere.
Yeah, right here.
So,
Oh, sorry.
yes.
What made you decide to do this documentary about these two extraordinary people?
Well, I was just thinking about that. It's going to be 8 years in December that I first saw Trixie Monkey perform in Baltimore. And we started talking about this film, and then about a year later, we really started filming. But you're asking me why. My honest answer is I'm a very serious person, and my films tend to be very, very serious. And I needed to remember that humor and the beauty that they bring to the stage as a healing agent in this world. So I immersed myself deeply and just followed them. But I think the beauty of it is what was playing out in their story, and how they just never gave up is what was happening behind the scenes of the film as well. This truly was a labor of love film.
Can I ask?
I'll tack on another part to that, but just because you both are obviously performers, I mean that in the best way possible. But what was it like, performing for the camera, I guess, or not performing, but just, existing?
Well, I think like in the first year or two, it felt it was almost like a concert performance and the camera work, and you put a few edits together and showed some people, and people were like, yeah, they seem interesting, but we want to know more about them. And then that's when it got real, and it was like waking up and there's a camera in your face, and it was like, all right, this is real now. So that was the time where.
But I hated it. You were fine with it. I hated it. Like I didn't like anything.
I recognized early on where I felt we just had to give over to it early on if it was going to be a good film.
I fought that
you were very
actually
resistant.
the whole time. Yeah. But that's just because I actually think our work is a lot about fantasy and suspension of disbelief, and I actually didn't see any benefit to seeing anything behind the scenes, and I actually thought it would be really boring. Like I was like, I don't know why anybody would want to see that. Like there's nothing happening. It's all on the stage.
It's all just driving.
Yeah. No, I hated being filmed the entire time, I'm not gonna lie. Kirsten will back me up. I made it difficult, I'm sure, all the time. I was like, they want to do what? Yeah.
She was lovely to work with. Yeah, right here.
Financial stability is a common discussion between professional performers. My question to you is, what have you put any thought as to what we're going to do, at 60, financially doing what we do for a living? Is that
Nope.
Not there yet.
Nope. We're gonna worry about that when we get there. No, I mean, weirdly, it's crazy. It's like within that first year that we moved here, we had a savings account, which we never had before. And we tripled, quadrupled our rent, whatever, in that move. And, it was crazy. It was like all of a sudden it was like everything that everybody said, just take a leap and it'll happen. And it actually did, and even though we don't pay, we don't make our living in New York, we go everywhere else to afford to live here. But somehow we're still here. It's been 4 years. So that was it's been a while. I don't know how it's happening, but it's happening.
I'm trying not to have your genes. Thanks.
It's a good reminder or anything.
Actually, I got,
He had his back freshly
I got my
shaved
back
tonight.
freshly shaved.
Just for
Thank you,
you.
Bambi. Bambi the
Bambi
mermaid.
the mermaid shaved his back tonight.
Yeah. Thank you, Bambi. Shout out over there.
She went to hair school for that.
$20,000. You do a good job.
Out of all the acts you've performed together, what's your favorite?
Well, Total Eclipse. You can't tell that the act that we do. You can't tell in the film because we can't afford Bonnie Tyler's song. But you can see it on YouTube.
It's the number that we created very early on at a circus. What was it? Motion Fest? Mini
It was
Fest.
actually a physical
Workshop.
comedy week that we did because we were actually trained clowns. We didn't get into that part, but.
But we were listening. She had the idea to do something to that song, Total Eclipse, and would listen to it repeatedly in the house over and over, and it was just like something's finally magical is going to happen eventually. We'll figure something out, and then we took it to that conference, and each day we kind of worked on it, and now it's just. I mean, it is kind of
our
what we make
favorite
our
number.
living
Yeah.
on as well, for the most part. But it is still the number that we get on stage and always have that reconnection, no matter how long it's been since we've done it. If I'm somewhere else, and then we can always come back together and do that.
Yeah, we just did it last Saturday. I think it had been 3 months, and we didn't rehearse it or do anything. It was great.
Mary?
When can I expect my royalty check?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
This is a labor of love film.
In all seriousness, congratulations everybody up there. And I've always wanted, I was watching this, I remembered how many good times that we've had. I've actually forgotten all of them. So watching the Autobar footage was great. And
Do you remember you were sitting on a toilet during that whole interview?
Interview process.
yeah.
On your throne.
You did
Anyway, I was always wanted you guys to move to New York. You did. And so I guess my question is, how do you feel about moving to New York and the New York community, which has shown up here tonight for you?
Well, ironically, everyone we know in New York is now moving to New Orleans. So we're trying to sort it out. We're figuring it out.
We love you guys. Thank you all for coming.
Yeah.
Totally. It's partially why we came here, is
No,
to
this
be
is the
around.
whole entire reason. Everyone we wanted to work with is actually in that back corner. That's why we moved here. All of you guys.
3 questions.
Whoa. Whoa.
One for Trixie, one for Adam, and one for both. How do you get your hair so hot?
For me, Bambi. She went to a $20,000 hair school.
Bambi!
Bambi, you got some parts tonight.
Second one is for both of you. Where do you see yourself, internationally? Do you see yourself in Berlin, Tokyo, in 5 years or sooner?
Well, Mikey's been touring with the company. He actually just got back from Berlin 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. So in the past year, a lot of things have changed, and the course of what we're doing has changed. And I'm in an Australian troupe right now, and we're touring the world, Berlin, London, all kinds of places. And right now, the new thing to juggle in our life is trying to figure out how we can do our stuff, and I can do this other group at the same time. So I'm trying to figure out, okay, we're going to be in Australia with Briefs for 3 months doing these festivals. Oh, well, Trixie and I, we can do our show at the same time or overlap it somehow. And, life is always just throwing weird curveballs, and you just have to kind of roll with the punches, especially when you're a performer, and you have to take great opportunities when they come. And they're all great opportunities right now.
And third one is, you bring a lot of fun into the show, and Trixie also. Do you want to elaborate on that?
How
Is
do
that
you
a question?
do fun? Yeah.
How do you do fun? Do you want to answer that?
No. Yes, if you wanted to elaborate, we don't want to.
No, we don't want to elaborate.
We have time for one more right here. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
You're answering the question. Back of the bus.
And you had to be dressed as a girl to do that?
Yep. Well, Miss Bonnie wouldn't let boys sit in the back of the bus. Oh yeah. The award assembly. Thanks for elaborating, Mom.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
Well, I guess maybe